Hello, I'm Madison. I am an accredited practicing dietitian, and today I'm going to be taking you through a few nutrition strategies to supporting endometriosis management. Before we get into it, just as a disclaimer, today's presentation is designed to be general in nature for personalized support or before making any big changes. Definitely check in with a general practitioner or dietitian. So, a little bit about me. I am a women's health dietitian at Balanced Nutrition in Toowoomba, and I have the experience of working with some incredible women and individuals with a uterus navigating endometriosis. I have education in health science, masters in dietetics, and then further training in nutrition for endometriosis as well. Also, I live with endometriosis, and so today's tips are not only evidence-based, but also things tried by myself and clients as well. So I'll be taking you through a few tips, and I hope you find them useful. So as a little bit of background information for those who are not too familiar, endometriosis is a chronic inflammatory condition in which tissue similar to the lining of the uterus grows outside the uterus and in different parts of the body. It's also an estrogen-dependent disease, which is associated with high circulating estrogen levels, which can promote that endometrial growth and also contribute to inflammation. Evidence shows anti-inflammatory style of eating is beneficial to this condition management, and that's due to this style of eating helping to influence contributing factors such as inflammation, estrogen activity, and also gut health. I won't spend too much time on an anti-inflammatory style of eating today, but as a bit of a background, that's usually a type of eating that is rich in white meats, plant proteins, fruits, veggies, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, and some types of dairy as well. So, tip number 1 is boosting your omega-3 intake. Now, omega-3 fatty acids are an essential type of fat. This means we can't make it in our body and we need it from nutrition. And it's found in rich food sources such as your oily fish, some nuts and seeds, including chia, hemp, flax seeds, and walnuts. And the reason they're recommended is because they have an anti-inflammatory impact in the body, which really helps to reduce that systemic inflammation in endo and help to reduce pain. And then in terms of how to go about this, I recommend aiming for at least a couple of serves of oily fish per week, and then adding in some of those extra wonderful seeds, such as your chia or flax seeds in a smoothie, yogurt, or oatmeal. Another thing to consider is that the concentrations of the omegas in your plant-based sources are not as rich as your fish sources. And so if you're not a fan of fish or just prefer your plant-based sources, to really get a therapeutic dose, I would recommend looking into a good quality supplement. And as always, checking in with a health practitioner for that support as well. Tip number 2 is increasing soluble fiber intake. Now, we all know fiber is incredible for the gut and improving gut health in the microbiome. But for individuals with endometriosis, soluble fiber is definitely the type we want to focus on for quite a few reasons that I'll go through. And your soluble fiber, unlike insoluble fiber, dissolves in water and forms this nice gel substance. And you find it in your foods like oats, some fruits, seeds, and legumes. And a couple of reasons that we want to add more of this to our plate is because it has this incredible ability to bind to estrogen in the body, which helps to then slide through your digestive tract and then remove excess estrogen when you do a poop. And so it's great for helping to manage those estrogen levels in the body and prevent that buildup. And then the second reason is that because of that gel-like structure, it really helps to slide things through the digestive tract. And we know that this helps to keep your bowels nice and regular. And if we can go to the toilet regularly every day or so, this helps to not only reduce bloating, but also that occurrence of irregular or funky poops that are often seen with clients with endo. So, in terms of how to go about this, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. So, with fiber, your gut needs to get used to having a bit more in its system. And so we want to gradually increase fiber so that your gut is nice and settled with it. So when aiming to increase it, aim to start slow and add an extra food a day, such as maybe adding some oats one day or adding some oats and fruit the next day. And then the second thing is that fiber and water are best friends. Wherever fiber goes, water follows. And so to really get that nice gel substance sliding through your system, we want to make sure we're having water with that extra fiber. So a good rule of thumb is to aim for at least 1.5 litres to 2 per day when increasing your fiber intake. And a few ideas of how to go about this would be starting your day with some cooked oats or overnight oats with some fruit on top, adding some legumes into a lunch or dinner meal, such as adding lentils to spaghetti bolognese or chickpeas to a curry. And then lastly, adding some seeds to baked goods, whether that's your flax or chia seeds, to some baking, some smoothies, or some soup. And then the third tip is boosting your polyphenol intake, especially the brassica family of vegetables. So what are polyphenols? These are a group of compounds naturally occurring in plants with various health benefits. And they're actually what give your really vibrant fruit and veggies their colour. So when you see different colours, know that there's different groups of polyphenols. And that's why a variety of these foods are key, because you get a good variety if you have different colours. So not only are they found in your fruits and vegetables, but also things like legumes, soybeans, whole grains, nuts, seeds, green tea, coffee, spices, dark chocolate, and extra virgin olive oil. And the reason we want to add more of these to our plate is because they act as antioxidants within the body. And this simply means they help to reduce inflammation. And the more different colors or the more different sources, the more they can help with different inflammation. And then the second point is they also feed our gut bacteria. So they promote that good gut bacteria diversity, which then helps to reduce inflammation and supports hormone health, especially with that ability to regulate estrogen levels as well. So what is the brassica family of vegetables? So as you'll see around the page, that they're also a rich source of polyphenols, as you see those wonderful colours, and also a compound called your glucosinolates. And these are found in your broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, rocket cauliflower, etc. And if Brussels sprouts is not your favourite, that's fine. There's definitely other sources there too. And so why these are important is because your glucosinolates actually help the liver in a process in breaking down and removing excess estrogen from the body. So a bit similar to the soluble fiber, but they really play a key role within that liver detoxification or removal of the body. So it's pretty cool. And through this, through regulating estrogen levels, they also help with that inflammation component as well. So a few tips on this would be aiming to make extra virgin olive oil your primary cooking or dressing fat. And a little tip here is that if you can get a olive oil in a dark glass jar, that darkness helps to protect the polyphenol content, which can naturally be oxidized in like a clear bottle. So where you can and when it's on sale, get those glass dark bottles. As well, you could make a side dish of either like a kale or cabbage slaw with a lemon and olive oil dressing, add steamed broccoli and cauliflower as a side dish, or if they're not your favorite, you can definitely crunch them up and add them to a spaghetti bolognese or something else where you can disguise them. Adding those beautiful colourful berries to a morning oats or smoothie, and then also getting creative and trying to add different spices to a dish each week, whether that was adding cinnamon to porridge or some paprika or turmeric to a stir fry. And then the other thing, enjoy your coffee and dark chocolate in moderation too. If you like normal chocolate, that's fine. Dark chocolate has a little bit more polyphenols, and it's food that doesn't just taste good, but also helps to feed that gut bacteria too. So those are a few tips there. And then the last tip for today is aiming to reduce your exposure to food plastics. And this is because plastics contain endocrine disrupting chemicals that have been found to be associated with an increased risk of developing endometriosis. So this is due to their ability to interfere with hormone functions. And while to some degree plastics are quite prevalent and not something to stress about, there are definitely a few things that we can do that help to really reduce that load that we come in contact with. So as much as possible, aim to store food in glass or ceramic containers. As well, try to avoid heating up plastic with food. So even if you've got like a ready-made meal or something, always remove it from a container. Glad wrap any takeaway containers and pop it in a dish, whether that's like ceramic, when heating up or on the stove to try to reduce heating that plastic. And then lastly, opt for a stainless steel or glass-based drink bottle, as this will also be something else each day that helps to reduce the load there. So that comes to the end of the presentation. And in summary, there's a few different things that you want to be adding to your plate to really help with that inflammation and estrogen balance side of things. And that's through adding more omegas, soluble fiber, and polyphenol-rich food to your plate. And then where you can, try to limit your food plastic use. It's important to note everyone with endometriosis has a different journey and will experience different symptoms and food triggers and that. So if you want individual support, definitely reach out to a women's health dietitian or get in touch with Quendo and they can definitely point you in the direction of the right support. And then if you ever want to chat, you can always give us a DM on Instagram or send us an email too. Thank you for your time, and I hope you found something to take away from this today.